BPod Studios.
Ding, 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 ding.
You gotta be kidding me. The bathroom?
In the very bathroom where people poop and pee.
Oh, my God.
Kendra Middleton was in there.
Not even in the kitchen? I thought she was literally going into the... I haven't seen the video.
Oh, you thought it was the kitchen for real?
I thought it was the kitchen, the way you were lining this up. It was in the bathroom? Oh, my Lord.
No,
That's disgusting.
Hardy, you really thought it was in the kitchen?
I haven't seen the video. I misunderstood. I thought this was
you
a
misunderstood?
kitchen bit.
I was wondering why you did. If she did in the kitchen, who cares? She did in the bathroom where there's poo and pee. And with women, they have periods and everything. That's going on in there, too.
I've heard, yeah.
Okay, maybe this is a Gen Z thing. We should ask.
So she's
Gen Z.
Kendra
She's
Middleton,
Gen Z.
who everyone loves. Kendra Middleton, what generation are you?
I am the cusp of the first year of Gen Z, so yeah.
Now, is Gen Z pre-millennial?
No, it's post. It's post.
Post.
Yeah.
But what year were you born?
96.
Yeah, the millennial 96 is like the cutoff.
That's
for
the
that
cutoff
and
for
Gen Z.
millennials.
It's like right there.
Yes.
Right on the cusp.
Well, I would say that a millennial would have to be born in the millennium.
Apparently not.
Kendra, why did you make it that way? Why did you start?
Okay, first of all, it was the locker room, not the bathroom.
No. Was there a toilet where you were?
There is one, but it is the women's locker room, and I am definitely the only person that uses that bathroom.
So you think.
So it is a bathroom.
Yeah, you just said it was a bathroom.
Come
That's
on.
a good point, John. You caught her in a lie. You should be a defense attorney.
Here we go. What you're telling me is that, one, you don't brush your teeth or use mouthwash, and two, that you don't lift weights or drink protein shakes or anything like that. So you exposed yourself. Congratulations.
All right. Look at Kendra trying haplessly to turn this around on me. First of all,
hater.
Well, that might be true. You're 75% right. That's most of my gig. But but to say I lift weights is obviously the audience is not on your side because they've seen me. You don't achieve this without lifting weights. But why the bathroom, Kendra? Why of all the places to make a shake?
A protein shake in my car or on the in the freaking gym? No, that's not going to happen. I'm at a sink. The closest, I know that you haven't been in the locker rooms here because you don't work out in the gym, but there's one stall and it's all the way in the back. The rest are showers.
What do people do in that stall all the way in the back? I would imagine make duty. Was that part of the appeal of making the shake in there?
All the time. I know you don't wash your hands.
Not after I pee, no.
Okay,
unless someone else is in there.
Okay, so you cannot even give me crap about anything because you're touching all the door handles and you're touching everything.
But I would touch the door handle after I wash my hands.
That's why there's literally Germex on the outside of the bathroom doors in the building.
Okay,
but you just said, but I touched the thing without washing my hands. Make up your mind, Kendra.
I think we're getting off topic here.
Yeah,
Kendra, why of all the places in the world to make your protein shake, and I love your videos. Shake it up. Everyone loves Kendra's videos. She's delightful. But Kendra, why of all places was it? Is it some sort of sick fetish of yours to have to drink things where people make poo and pee? And dispose of sanitary napkins? Huh?
There was a sink right there. I didn't have to make it in front of other people in the gym.
Did you use the water in the sink to make it?
No, it was literally, I brought milk from home. I had an on-the-go protein pack powder thing, and then I had the end of a bag of churro, Siete chips to mix into it. I don't know why you're being such a hater. You know what? I'm going to make a protein shake in that bathroom every day until I am fired.
But you made it. You could have filmed it anywhere, but you chose to film in a place where there's... Is there a place in there to dispose of sanitary napkins?
I mean, I'm sure there is in the stall.
Oh,
why are you so worried about
Kendra, there's so many things floating in the air.
Kendra, I am on your side on this one. I believe that any water source is acceptable for consumption.
Yeah,
you know?
especially the water source of which people take their fecal-ridden hands and rub it all over.
Let me
I
ask.
didn't even use the water in the bathroom, guys. I brought milk from home.
Right, but I'm saying that's a bridge too far. You don't even need to do that. You could have used the water coming out of the tap there in the bathroom. Now I wouldn't scoop it out of the toilet, but Fred, you act like it's the the biggest breach of etiquette and hygiene to do anything near where the duty takes place in your own home bathroom. Is there a commode next to the sink where your toothbrush sits out uncovered?
I'm glad you
Exactly.
said that. Well, Kendra, before you start making assumptions, can I tell you this?
Also,
No.
if you hear licking, my dog really is into you guys and wants to lick the phone, and I'm very sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
So where do you keep your toothbrush, Fred?
My toilet, Hardy, funny that you ask. My bathroom is such that the toilet is in a separate room protected by a door.
And do you always close the door to that bathroom?
Unless someone wants to watch me go. Do you know one time the
I'm sure
cat
you had a
scratched
smaller
my penis?
apartment at some point.
Do you want to hear this, Kendra? Yes, I did. Do you know at one point, Kendra, I was sitting on the toilet. I was making duty, and my cat came up and swatted my penis with her nails out. How do you explain that to the doctor? I mean, you're just like I was, and then they would never believe it, and then they would be like, "Why is there all this peanut butter on you?" All right, well, Kendra, I'll tell you this. It was, I think, it was a step too far. Did anyone else comment on you using the bathroom as the place to make the shake?
No, the only thing anybody else had to comment on was the fact that I don't know, get ready to dump this just in case, but it was the fact that I used the word nut milk in my video instead of almond milk.
I think that the bathroom is a more interesting point than, I mean, yeah, you used almond milk.
I think
Nut-
the
nut
censors
milk
are
is
still
like
on
kind-
standby.
Yeah,
I don't think that you have to worry about
Kendra,
that.
that wasn't even touching a line. You're
I think
okay
you're
with
right.
that.
Yeah, nut milk is kind of like the all-encompassing pistachio milk, almond milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, you'd have to
I'm
be.
going to make a protein shake in there every day.
Well, I'm sure now you've got a whole new audience because, I mean, anything with women in the bathroom, I've heard, is a big hit in Germany. So just start looking. Do you ever look at the professional metrics of your Instagram account?
All the time.
Yeah. Well, now Germany's going to be off the charts because they know that
I'm
there's
actually, I have a weird amount of followers in Brazil.
Oh.
All right.
Well, all right. Well, did you ever speak the Portuguese?
I don't speak Portuguese,
All right. Well, you should learn in super.
and I don't have a BBL, so
Brazilian butt lift.
there you go.
Ah, thank you, Kendra. I'm learning the acronym. All right. Well, you're disgusting. Thank you. We love you. You're
at all.
disgusting.
Love you guys. I'm going to make shower bathroom protein shakes every day
If
until
you
I
did it in the
die.
shower, you know it's not as gross as putting it where other people take craps. All right. Thank you, Kendra.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I never understood that at the end of
I can't believe you
Seinfeld
thought it was
either
the kitchen. The kitchen thing's not anything. It's
Well,
the,
you spent the previous 3 minutes talking about the kitchen and Hardy brushing his
called
teeth
the
there.
setup, baby.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the setup, like how gross that you do that where
No, I was just talking about gross things at the office.
Oh, all right.
I have no problem with the way Kendra did. She brought milk from home. She did. Now,
No, it's
I don't know why she had to do it in there, though. If everything was like,
Why did she shoot anything in a bathroom?
yeah.
I don't.
That's-
I don't understand why you guys. Why this perplexes Hardy. It's just gross.
You have a kitchen over there. There's a refrigerator right
How about
next
the
to
world?
the sink.
How about the world? You have the world. You have your own bathroom. If it was her own bathroom, who cares? You guys mentioned my own bathroom. I just thought it was funny because my toilet's not in there.
Right.
But like if you meant like my bathroom's my bathroom. Like that's like when your kids are in diapers. It's kind of gross, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But if you had me go to that place in New Hampshire, I wouldn't want to clean the people. I mean, if it's your stuff, it's your stuff. Anyway, I think we learned a little about Kendra. She has no shame in the bathroom.
oh, she likes to make shakes. There's no problem.
I don't have a problem with her
There's no
making
problem.
anything or putting it on the internet. I just don't know why she chose a public bathroom. You know what goes on those places. Case X. Andrew, go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure, Fred, that are you the only guy in the world that does poo-poo with his thing outside of the toilet?
Oh, good point.
What does that
Yeah,
mean?
how did the cat
reach?
have access to swat your
Yeah.
while you were
Unless
sitting
it
down?
was above the bowl instead of below like everyone else.
What are you guys working with here? That like what are you, like, in the water? I don't get it.
No,
like, what are
usually-
you enormous? Am I like
No.
on another planet?
No. When people sit down.
In the movie that Poor Things, I was right up there with those guys that were in full frontal. They were. It seemed like I was normal. What are you guys talking about?
Everyone in the world goes to the bathroom the same way, where you sit far enough back on the seat to where your stuff hangs down inside the seat rim.
Right. You must have had it above for your cat to swat
You
it.
must sit forward, and there isn't enough weight to actually weight it down, and you can just rest it on the first inch or so of the toilet.
No. Well, an inch? Okay. No, the cat perched, got up on its front legs on the bowl, and then swatted it real quick.
Where was it? Was it on the seat? Was it on the toilet seat?
No, I was sitting on the toilet seat.
I understand. We understand that part. But when you
I don't
sit
understand
down,
how far you're. It was connected to my body. It's my penis.
I understand that. But when you sit down, usually it's below the seat rim in front of you, not above.
Right.
But so
Let's
you
go to
can't
the bathroom.
access. Access underneath. You can't access that if you're a cat.
Let's go to the bathroom during the break, and I want you to show me how you go do it, and I'll make sure you.
I don't know. I must have an incredibly small penis
Can we get-
because this is a.
Can we get Kendra to come in because she'll
Yeah.
film it, and that way we can get
Perfect video, yes.
I don't see why there'd be any.
I don't
HR.
need any female apparently around me at any point. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm dealing with a micro situation. I have literally can't conceptualize what you guys are talking about. The cat got up on the came in, got up on the toilet and reached in and swatted.
So reached into the.
I mean, the cat didn't have to go super far. It was like I was. How big is your toilet?
I don't know. You're
apparently you guys are just John Holmes-esque.
You're just perched up on the throne. I think your
Do you think I'm sitting wrong?
I think your posture is all
maybe
wrong
I'm too
on the toilet.
maybe I'm too far back.
Yeah, I think that's what we're finding out here. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm certainly not on the front. No. I'm not on the front. Maybe I'm too far back.
Yes.
So you're saying that you like sink into the toilet?
I think the safest thing for you to do from now on, as long as there is a cat in your home.
Oh, no, I don't let the cat in anymore.
Is to sit.
Smart move.
Yeah, I was going to
considering the incident. Yeah,
how am I going to explain that?
Turn
to
yourself around and sit facing the tank, and go that way from now on.
All right, there's one more. I like this. There's one more question. I know we're off the clock, but baby, you got to roll with things sometimes. All right, okay. No, I like the call I just took, so I won't take that though because I want this. Goose, go ahead.
Yeah, I know exactly what happened here. I've also had this happen to me. I was taking a dump and the cat slapped my thing. It's just the cat's hand gets in the bowl a little bit, and it reaches down.
Yeah, like it didn't have to like really reach. Like I don't know what you guys are
Originally,
packing.
I can tell you what I thought was the cat just reached up and not in. That was my mistake.
Yeah, but it didn't have to reach very far in. I mean, I don't know. I know John with that pleat. That I can understand John's ignorance,
Sure.
but apparently I'm with two big studs.
Now, Wallach's dealing with stuff that you and I don't dream of.
John's got to get like padding that like raises him so he doesn't get like hepatitis or spinal meningitis or something. Jesus, John, what do you do? Do you need to bring Scotch tape with you when you go to a public place?
Depends on who's going to be there.
Wrap it like mounting around your bank robber's waist.
You go to a strip club, yeah, usually.
Well, strip club, I mean, I don't know. The nest.
Just carry a length of rawhide in your pocket at all times in
That's
case
what
it
it
needs
is.
to be tied
Marty,
and strapped down.
Rawhide.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yes.
I mean, the depth of these nests you build has got to be really something. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you.
Chad Graff.
Now I feel terrible about myself. Chad Graff
has now canceled.
Yeah, he was at the Senior Bowl. We will talk to him in just a moment.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Award-winning movies often have incredible soundtracks, and many of those have gone on to become country gold. We've picked our top 5 country songs that have been nominated for an Oscar. Text Oscar to 45911 to see if your favorite made the list on BackstageCountry.com. Text Oscar to 45911 and we'll send the link straight to your phone.
Our website. One has no idea he's awake.
And it's not much of a surprise.
The other is just realizing what it takes to get up at 4:30.
Do I need to be here?
It's Toucher and Hardy.
Shows you how together this whole operation is.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy's. Chad Graff is the Patriots writer for The Athletic, and he joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. He was down at the Senior Bowl. Mr. Graff, hello, sir.
Hello, gentlemen. What's going on?
Hey, Chad.
Hey, Chad. So, there's the Patriots have the 3rd pick in the draft. There's talk of do they take a quarterback there, or do they take a guy like Marvin Harrison and then wait till the top of the second round to take their quarterback? And when you read the Senior Bowl, you got a chance to see some of those guys play that would be, guys that were available in the second round. What were your thoughts?
I mean, I think my biggest takeaway after a week in Mobile, Alabama, among, I guess, Mobile, Alabama takeaways, would be that there are so many, like the Patriots are lucky a little bit because there are so many good offensive tackles that could be available late first, early second round, a bunch of offensive tackles that could be available early third round where they've got that very early pick in the third round, 68, I think it is. And then there are also so many good wide receivers. So if you're looking at the Patriots and their biggest 3 needs, I think just about everybody agrees it's got to be quarterback, wide receiver, offensive tackle in whatever order you want to rearrange that. But when you're looking at the draft board, the big thing that stood out to me at the Senior Bowl is there's not really a drastic drop off at offensive tackle. There's not really a drastic drop off at wide receiver. Like, of course, Marvin Harrison is way better than, say, Roman Wilson, the wide receiver who stood out most at the Senior Bowl. But point being, there's a lot of depth at wide receiver. There's a lot of depth at offensive tackle. So at this point, I kind of think, and there's plenty that can change, I kind of think you'd be crazy not to pick a quarterback at number 3, even knowing how good and how much of a sure thing Marvin Harrison Jr. is.
Okay, really? Because I've agreed with that. I'm sorry, I've agreed with that all along. There always is so much value at the wide receiver position, and it doesn't get worse any other year. So you think the drop off between Marvin Harrison and the next 3 best receivers is not that dramatic?
There's definitely a drop off. He is awesome, but it's not crazy. And it's not like there's a cliff where if you don't get one of the first 5 guys, you're screwed. There's 15, 20 guys who are probably going to be impactful players. There's a ton of wide receivers. There's some really good kind of, what you would expect from probably a 3rd round offensive tackle where they're massive. The size is off the charts, but they're going to take some coaching. So you've got options at offensive tackle. You've got options at wide receiver. Of course, taking a quarterback at number 3 is far from a sure thing. Patriots fans for a long time have gotten to watch other teams look foolish by continually striking out there. So yes, I think it's a little bit more high risk, but if you want that high reward, I do think you got to take a quarterback at number 3.
Okay, so Chad, you wrote about the quarterbacks that were there, and obviously, the guys who are going to be there at 3 weren't participating in Mobile, but from the guys that you did see, it seemed like they were maybe not making that strong of a case across the board to move up in the draft.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll put it this way. The two quarterbacks everybody was so excited to see at the Senior Bowl were Michael Penix Jr., who we just watched in the playoffs dazzle for Washington against Texas. Super interesting, a guy who's had a bunch of injury concerns. Let's see what he can do. And then his kind of collegiate rival, Bo Nix from Oregon, who put just video game numbers up. And everybody wanted to see what it would look like without Oregon's offensive line and skill position players and the coaching he's gotten. And those two kind of disappointed a bit. I mean, Spencer Rattler was the best quarterback there, and he was viewed more as like a fifth-round pick kind of guy. So the fifth-round pick was there outdueling Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. Now, of course, these are just 3 or 4 practices and then a game. They're playing with wide receivers that they don't really know, an offensive system that they don't really know, which, by the way, was led by Troy Brown, who was one of the offensive coordinators. But the fact that Spencer Rattler was the best quarterback there isn't exactly like a shining sign to me that you cannot miss on Bo Nix. You cannot miss on Michael Penix Jr. There's some uncertainty, with who I think becomes the 4th, 5th, 6th quarterbacks taken in the draft in April.
You mentioned Troy Brown. Kind of interesting. He's been on the coaching staff of the Patriots here for the last few years. What is your read? Did you talk to him? What's the deal with him?
So it's this awesome new stadium where all the practices are held. And then right as practice ends, this horn sounds and it comes over the speakerphone. Hey, media is walking on the field. And so usually the coaches and players will kind of hang out a little bit like, ooh, who's going to come talk to me? This is exciting, especially the smaller school guys like New Hampshire's Dylan Laube. But conversely, you can be at the front of the line like we were trying to be to get down onto the field to go talk to Troy Brown. Say, hey, Troy, what's going on? How are you? Are you going to be back next year? And he was routinely one of the first off the field. So never got a chance to talk to him. But very noteworthy that at this Senior Bowl, all of these, it's coached by NFL position coaches and coordinators. So a lot of different people there, and everybody is repping their team. They want it known like, hey, I'm the Chicago Bears defensive line coach. Come talk to me. Let me help try to woo you to want us to draft you and make a good impression at the combine in a couple months. Troy Brown, on the other hand, was not wearing a Patriots shirt. He was the only one in a tight-fitted Senior Bowl shirt with his, stature popping. But that, interesting sign to me. I think that Troy Brown, it seems, my read on it was that he's probably going to give Alex Van Pelt, the new offensive coordinator, carte blanche to hire what you want. This is your staff, man. Well, I'm coming in and turning over the offense to you. I'm going to be more of a general manager, maybe defensive head coach. So I want to give you a chance to hire who you like and interview Troy Brown if you'd like. Don't interview him if you don't want to, but definitely does not seem like a set thing that Troy Brown is going to be back. And if anything, I'd venture a guess that he probably won't be, despite everything that he did as a player and his last 4 years as a coach.
Roman Wilson was certainly getting a lot of attention. You wrote about him, too. It looks like he may have done enough to move himself, not massively up the draft board, but maybe from like a 4th rounder to a 3rd rounder.
Yes, exactly. And that's where I think like the Patriots could be really smart to go quarterback round 1, offensive tackle round 2, get somebody who you can hopefully plug and play, since we don't really know if Onwenu or Trent Brown are going to be back, or even if the Patriots want them back. And then there is just so much depth at wide receiver that you can get a guy like him who apparently runs like a 4.3 40 crazy 3 cone. So going down there, of course, you've heard everything about his athleticism. And my concern, admittedly, going down there was like, okay, well, we've seen this before. Tyquan Thornton is also a great track athlete. There's something different from being a track athlete to actually being a really good wide receiver. And so I think it was refreshing and perhaps a way for Patriots fans to take a deep breath when looking at this guy and say, okay, he is a polished route runner. He can catch the ball. There's a lot more to this guy than just speed. And that's why I think that the Patriots, even though wide receiver is a glaring need, might be okay to target that in free agency and then wait all the way to the 3rd round in the draft to try to improve their wide receiver position.
All right. Well, what did you think of Stevie Belichick getting the job in Washington? Is this the defensive coordinator job in Washington? Is this good for him?
I think so. I'm a little bit surprised only in that it's going to the college level. Like you talk to all of these coaches that come up from college, as we just saw with Boston College, and everybody gets to the NFL, where for years you heard stories about sleeping in your office and you cannot believe the hours. And then they get to the NFL and they exhale like, oh my God, this is great. Like I can go on vacation in early July. This is incredible. I've never had this much time off. So it's interesting to me in that sense, in that he's now going to a recruiting world and is going to have to be in the living rooms of, the great linebackers of Seattle and Portland and Los Angeles and whatever. So interesting to me. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't decide to stay in the NFL, which he knows so well. But I'm also fascinated to hear what recruits say of his recruiting pitch. I think he's got a little more personality than his dad. I think it could work out well. And if nothing else, if he needs a FaceTime with his dad to close the deal on some 5-star cornerback, I think that could probably have a swaying effect on some kids.
Chad, was there an NFL job waiting for him? It is curious that he went back to the college game. I'm wondering if he was reading the room and decided that if he wanted to continue working, he had to go to college.
There definitely was with the Patriots, and I think that he could have gotten some job with with a team in the NFL. I don't think it would have been defensive coordinator, play caller, which he wanted, and I don't think that's what it would have been with the Patriots either. So perhaps he looked at it and said, look, I'm not here just to go show that I can be a good linebackers coach for X NFC team or whatever. I think he still wants to call plays and have a big say in things, and on Fish's staff, he's going to be able to run the defense. And now that recruiting question is going to be so funny to me because I could see it either way. I could see him being awesome and flexing 6 rings and the connections that he has and turning that into an awesome thing to be an incredible recruiter. But also, I would say his dad didn't exactly have the track record of the most personable guy and the guy who was going to woo you and sweep you off your feet, kind of like you need in college football. So I'll be fascinated to see what Steve Belichick, the recruiter, is like.
All right, Chad Graff. Good stuff. Read him on The Athletic. He's working hard. He was at the Senior Bowl, which is really just a party for these guys. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. They're doing half field. They're at midfield throwing the thing around. Who cares? All right, Chad, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
It's a party on and off the field. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, we appreciate it. When we come back, do you think you want to talk about our Hardy had an idea. I think it's a good one. Super Bowl. Every day you give people a little taste of what's happening in the Super Bowl, both good and bad.
We can do that next if you want to.
Because I'll tell you what, Usher, my man, doing halftime is all I'm thinking about.
No.
That's all I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Usher.
What? Do you think he's going to have any special guests out there with him?
God, I hope not. I hope that it's just Usher.
For 20 minutes.
It's like 11, but I mean, he could do 20 times 10.
Easily.
I mean, he could do 4 hours of Usher. I mean, just his hit, the one hit, and then the other hit, and then the hit after that I still remember because he's my age. That's what I like. All right, we'll return. Here are the headlines.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Lainey Wilson is on a roll. She's delivering great music and teaming up with some of country's hottest acts. Text Lainey to 45911 to see which 4 Lainey Wilson collabs have us talking at BackstageCountry.com. Text Lainey to 45911 to get a link to the list sent right to your phone from BackstageCountry.com.
Yes. In the office, in your car, in your footy pajamas, this is how Boston sports fans start their day.
I bet you're just jealous.
Tuncher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. This hour of our show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And you have Bertrand and Zolak and Bertrand, and you have Felger and Maz out in Las Vegas. Why are they out in Las Vegas, Hardy?
Only 6 days left. I ain't got too much to say. It's the Super Bowl countdown. And we gonna win that bitch. We gonna win that bitch.
And at forward from DePaul University, Mark Aguirre.
It's the Super Bowl countdown. It's the biggest. I don't know about you, Fred. If you're an American male guy person, this is the biggest day of your life every year. Super Bowl, 6 days away. It's just all consuming. It's all I can think about. It's all I can do. This is Super Bowl all day. I start on Friday at noon. I start braising the brisket. And then I do a beer run on Friday night, and then on Saturday I'm like, tell the kids to get out of here. I got to get all the TVs set up in the TV room where I bring in more TVs. I'm gonna go buy another new big TV on Saturday. I'm gonna set it up on Saturday, and on Sunday, that's when no one's allowed to talk to me the whole day. I start with the pregame at dawn, and I just watch all day, and then I get the chips. And I start with chips. And then I do bacon. And then the brisket's ready. And then I just start drinking. And I do all day. The Super Bowl, 6 days away. I can't believe it. That's what I live for every year.
Yeah, since the team I've liked has never been in the Super Bowl. They've usually been a bit of a haze.
I've got a knot in my stomach already. Super Bowl, 6 days away. We just got to start unpacking the stuff, man. We just got to start talking about the stuff about the game.
All right, but there is, Hardy, some things leading up to the game. Some good, some bad.
Well, first things bad for those who are arriving in Las Vegas yesterday. I heard from one Mark Bertrand, who told me as soon as he got on the ground yesterday in Las Vegas that it was 48 degrees and raining.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, if you're like me, and for most of your life you were under the impression that Las Vegas is in the desert, it's out west, that you think of the desert being hot, you think of people, riding around being overwhelmed by the heat. It sucks in the winter, just like everywhere else.
I remember we went to Las Vegas for the Patriots game last season, and it was ice cold. The temperature was in the low 30s at night. Yeah. It was horrible.
Yes.
So if you're headed out there, don't expect to enjoy the weather.
No, I mean, for instance, looking at Las Vegas right now, it is currently 47 degrees with a 90% chance of rain this hour and next hour.
Nice.
And again, just temperature-wise, it's the high desert. It's not, it's not Albuquerque. You're not a mile up, but you're a couple thousand feet elevation at some parts in the city, and it's wintertime. You're not going outside in shorts and walking around. You might get some nicer weather toward the end of the week, but for the most part, the guys out there, well, let's see. 54 degrees on Wednesday as a high. On Thursday, it'll get up to 50 with a low of 39. But rain today. Rain yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
No pool time. That's terrible.
I'm not taking any joy in that whatsoever.
No,
I'm really not. That sucks for them. But a lot of talk about what's going on in Las Vegas in terms of what this means for the teams. Oh, they're going to be partying up. They're going to be going crazy. No. The officials have warned the teams, and that includes anybody associated with the teams. They have to stay out of the casinos, and that no player, whether you're in the game or not, of course, can place any wagers. You can't do any wagering of any kind. Don't even think about it. Don't do it.
What do you think the chances are? Because remember, Robinson from the Falcons was the man of the year. He was literally had won the was Eugene Robinson. He had won the. I was in Atlanta at the time. He had won the whatever Man of the Year award was for being the most charitable, nicest guy in the NFL, and he got caught with a whore the night before the Super Bowl. So don't think that these guys aren't taking chances. There's a decent enough chance that one of these guys could think they could go under the radar, go into the Super Bowl, which is a shame because you should be able, maybe not a casino because, not a sports book. Because, again, my favorite Dr. Z story from Sports Illustrated was he saw that Mike Mantuzak. John Mantuzak, who you'll remember from movies and stuff, he was on the Raiders before the Super Bowl, the night before the Super Bowl in New Orleans. And Mantuzak was out at like 2 a.m, just annihilated. Raiders win the Super Bowl. Man, Dr. Z sees that Mike, what's his name? John Mantuzak in the locker room afterwards, and he goes like, John, congratulations. And Dr. Z goes to him, hey, congratulations. And John Mantuzak goes, oh, when did you get into town? I told the story horribly. Anyway, he was blacked out drunk the night before the Super Bowl. Go ahead.
This is not a great story for Patrick Mahomes, as his father was arrested Saturday night in Tyler, Texas. Suspicion of driving while intoxicated. Now, what does this have to do with the Super Bowl? It could be a distraction for Patrick Mahomes this week. This is not just a one-off for Patrick Mahomes Sr., former Red Sox pitcher.
Yes, for 2 years, mid-'90s.
Patrick Mahomes Sr., 54 years old, facing a charge of driving while intoxicated, third or more. So that means this has happened to him 2 times before. The charge is a third-degree felony. It carries a sentence of up to 10 years in prison if he is convicted.
No, he's already done 40 days for the second DUI. He got to serve him on the weekends. I've heard stories of people like getting house arrest. He's getting arrested. He's going to he's going to be
incarcerated one way or another.
One way or the other. I've heard of people getting out of it in a way that they got house arrest. But I would this is very serious nowadays. If you don't know, it's very, very, very serious. There's no way he's not getting incarcerated in some way, shape, or form for like a decent amount of time.
No, this is a distraction. This is a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect Patrick Mahomes' performance, but his father is effed. Like, there's really no excuse for the third DUI. Like, people slip up, they get the DUI. Then you might have a problem, you get the second DUI. Like, it's time to, then you sort of got to quit drinking at that point.
Well, the second one was 5 years ago.
Yeah, well,
maybe he found whatever he needed to find to straighten himself out, and now has backslid a little bit.
My guess is if you've been caught drinking and driving 3 times, that those weren't the 3 times you drank and drove.
Yeah,
I'm going to guess that
it wasn't a 100% hit rate.
Yeah, like there was some other foibles in there. And believe me, no one would forgive the guy more than me, and I do forgive. I don't think he's the worst guy that's ever lived, but. Maybe you should stop drinking. It's your third DUI.
And that's just it. It's like you can't explain or logically, rationalize irrational behavior. All right, fine, just drink. You're an alcoholic and you don't want to quit. Don't drive. Well, tell that to somebody who's been drinking, who is an alcoholic, that they shouldn't be driving. You've had 2 DUIs. I'm not going to get. Yeah, you're trying to rationalize irrational behavior. It's just there's no point in it. Now, here's what there's really no point in. As the 49ers, getting ready for the Super Bowl, gifted every one of their players and coach the same thing: a Peloton bike and shoes, which is probably the most inappropriate and unnecessary gift when you have training facilities and your entire job is to go in and work out and come to a facility where we have all this stuff. You know what you need? More stuff to work out with at home. Here's a Peloton bike and shoes. The NFL rules allow Super Bowl gifts to their players. That's what this is under the guise.
Who the hell's idea was that?
A Super Bowl gift to be
the team's idea.
Under $1,700 in value. So that's what they came up with.
The team gave
Dan
all
makes
of
the point. Don't you get bonuses for showing up? And by the way, the Peloton's just going to make your balls and penis fall asleep. That's all it does to me. And then I guess that could be permanent.
Which would be good for you if you've got a cat swatting at it all the time while you're trying to duty.
I don't know. Someone said that I don't know. I don't know why you guys find. I'm getting a lot of support from people saying it's happened to them as well. I guess maybe we should start a support group because obviously there's a lot of hate coming our way. I can't even make a joke about it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And if you could spend up to $1,700 and you just wanted to get everybody the same thing,
I would give them $1,700.
I would.
Why overthink it? Here's a check.
Like I wouldn't.
Congratulations.
Hey, guy who I pay to work out. Here's more crap to work out.
Yeah.
That would be like the radio station going, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give everyone $1,700 new microphone in the studio at work. I don't know. That's for you. I don't need that.
Right.
That's right. That Peloton's going to get a lot of use during the off season too. The last thing I want to do is ride the bike after the season is over.
You might want.
And finally, something just very, very quickly here that does impact the game. The Chiefs getting their running back, Jerick McKinnon, off injured reserve. So it looks like he will be available as we count down.
At a Notre Dame, he's white. Bill Laimbeer. You don't know, this was what they played when they introduced the Bad Boys at the Palace of Auburn Hills, or in the Silverdome for that matter. And a guard from Indiana University. His post-career is going to be filled with a lot of garbage.
It's going to ruin the New York Knicks.
Isaiah Thomas.
Turns out nobody likes him. Who knew?
Who could have figured it out? And a guy who banged a lot of chicks from Georgia Tech, even though he didn't start, John Sally. All right. What is this we have coming up, Hardy?
We came across a gentleman who has a particular fetish with something that is otherwise childlike and lovely, and he makes it absolutely filthy, but in a very charming way.
Yes, and maybe I'll tell that story as well as I told the John Mantuza story with Dr. Z. All right, we'll be right back. Hear that? We'll have the headlines as well.